The power battles of earlier episodes are rendered meaningless when the plot moves forward, since too much time has passed since the first episode, making that early season fighting almost insignificant today. House of the Dragon has traveled through about 15 years of history, during which players we thought important are now dead, and actions that seemed consequential are now just remnants of the past. In contrast to that other power struggle show, which takes place in real time, the drama from episode 1 is still relevant by episode 10 of House of the Dragon. The end consequence is that we are left wondering why we spent so much time creating a drama whose conclusion was predetermined from the beginning and yet has taken 7 hours to construct. We're discussing the Civil War. By the end of episode 7, the conflict is at least about to start. The dragons have picked their sides, and the battle for the throne may now begin. At the very least, when the king passes away. That he hasn't yet done. So, let's break down what happened Sunday night. House of the Dragon episode 7. The main plot of episode 7 is the growing rift between Rhaenyra and Alicent, with the last scenes all but foreshadowing a war between the houses and the choice of potential partners in that conflict. It starts in a wake. In the most recent episode, Lena Valerian committed suicide by dragon while giving birth, and she was laid to rest in Driftmark. This is where all of episode 7 takes place. The current balance of power should be noted. 3 families compete for dominance. Lena Valerian and Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen, the king's named heir, have 2 illegitimate children. If Rhaenyra's claim to the throne is not contested, that of her offspring most surely will be. Another example is King Viserys and Alicent Hightower, who produce 3 Targaryen children, the oldest of whom, Aegon, may have a similar claim to the throne as Rhaenyra. Then there are the 2 kids that Daemon Targaryen had with the now deceased Lena Valerian. Daemon frequently remarries quickly after the death of his first wife, making his a strong house prepared to merge with another. At the funeral, an equal number of meddlers are present with each of the 3 families. The grandparents come first. With his position as Hand of the King restored, Otto Hightower will work to further Aegon's case. Since Jacaerys is Rhaenyra's firstborn and thus the throne's legitimate heir by name through Rhaenyra, Corlys Velaryon, who serves as grandfather to children in the other 2 houses, children Rhaenyra's and Daemon's offspring will work to advance Jacaerys' claim. The grandfathers praise well of their grandchildren during the funeral reception, but neither group has any ambition. Jacaerys muses somberly about what must occur for Aegon to rule. Everyone must be already dead, as he indulges in some sad boy intoxication. Therefore, both grandchildren are essentially useless. Larys Strong, who has previously murdered the real father of Rhaenyra's children, his own brother, along with his own father, the Hand, aids House Hightower in regaining more power by interfering in the family power struggle. Finally, there is Daemon, the perpetual meddling who is already making out with Rhaenyra at his wife's funeral. Viserys even begs him to go back to King's Landing so that he can stake a claim to the throne, but Daemon refuses and says he wants to stay in Pentos. This will pass quickly. One family member ultimately seizes the initiative as night falls. As a result of Lena's passing, Aemond, Alicent's youngest child, decides to take ownership of the dragon Vhagar. The other kids are awakened by his flight of Vhagar, upsetting Lena's twin daughters Rhaena and Baela, who believe the dragon is rightfully theirs. Along with Jacaerys and Lucerys, they encounter Aemond at a castle entrance. The 3 families then engage in combat via the kids. Aemond is attacked by Rhaena and Baela. Aemond is then attacked by Jacaerys and Lucerys. They tag team him after Aemond labels the latter 2 bastards, with Jacaerys slashing Aemond's eye with a knife. Then the grown-ups arrive to disperse the altercation. Everyone is called to Viserys for explanation. Rhaenyra and Daemon wander along the beach at night while the dragon flies overhead. Rhaenyra claims that Daemon abandoned her in King's Landing, which weakened her authority and caused her distress. He claims that she was only a child, to which she responds that she is no longer a child. They then share a kiss to end the strange vibes they've been emitting throughout the season. When they get back to the castle, it's in disarray. Both of Rhaenyra's kids are covered in blood, while Alicent's youngest has lost an eye. When Viserys demands an explanation, Rhaenyra claims that Aemond insulted her kids by calling them bastards and then demands an explanation herself. She asserts that such a claim would be treasonous. Viserys is maybe the only person in the kingdom who is unaware of the veracity of the slander, but he recognizes the seriousness of the insult right away. He begs Aemond to provide the source of the rumor. Before blaming his sibling, Aemond looks at his mother. Aegon, who had been intoxicated the entire evening, informs the king that everyone is aware of the rumor. Jacques must also lose an eye as punishment, according to Alicent, who demands this by taking advantage of what seems to be a change in authority. She decides to attack the boy personally after making this terrible advice, but Rhaenyra stops her and gets cut in the process. Alicent drops the knife after finally revealing her actual intentions. Later, her father, the Hand, commends her persistence and sees her as someone who is finally prepared to contend for the throne. Rhaenyra acknowledges to Daemon her weakness as the Hightowers depart with the king. Her boys are indeed bastards, the Hightowers have just captured another dragon, and Laenor won't be able to offer assistance. In order to marry Daemon, unite House Targaryen, increase the number of dragons on Rhaenyra's side, and maybe force an alliance with the Velaryons, given that Daemon will be the father of their remaining descendants, she and Daemon plan to have Laenor slain. In the meantime, Corlys and Rhaenys Targaryen debate whose family to support. Corlys supports Rhaenyra despite the fact that the kids aren't really hers. Rhaenys contends that since Daemon's two daughters are of Velaryon ancestry, Corlys ought to declare their naming. Corlys will not have any more blood because she prefers her name to it. After that, Laenor is killed. In exchange for money, Daemon employs Qarl, a soldier who has spent the entire season around the Velaryon army, to carry out the deed. And everyone, including the spectators at first, is made to assume that he has indeed done so. However, as the episode comes to a close, we see that Laenor and Qarl have staged his demise. The two are rowing off into open ocean. Will they become involved in things later on, or will they simply lead happy lives? We shall see, since this diverges from Martin's original information. Rhaenyra conveniently lacks a husband, and Corlys and Rhaenys now assume they are childless. The Velaryons witness her, and Daemon's marriage as their throne claims are completely defeated. Now that the two sides of the civil war are determined, hopefully next week we'll see a showdown between Daemon and Rhaenyra and the Hightowers. Oh my goodness, we need some combat scenes. Enough with the imitations of Succession. Give us actual conflict.